Ooh, doggy. What's going on, y'all? I pray you're doing incredibly well. So, on today's video, I want to talk about novation agreements. What are they? How I offer them, and how they can be a massive value to you and the seller to make you not only close more deals, but make more on those deals. So, you're not going to want to miss this. Please also like, subscribe, share, all of those amazing things. I appreciate it. The channel is growing like you wouldn't believe. And so let's spread the word. Let's make a kingdom impact and let's help people transform their life through real estate investing. Okay. So let's get into the topic here on novation agreements. I'll say it like this. The best way that I can describe a novation agreement, it's like a white glove service where basically you handle everything on the seller's behalf without being their agent to get their property sold at top dollar. Okay. So let's say, for example, a seller is too busy to sell their own property, right? Well, now you can list that property on their behalf and get it sold for them. Okay. So, why this is so valuable is, let's say, for example, I go in here and I make my cash offer because that's where I always start with my golden formula cash offer. Let's say that came in at $100,000. But then when I pull up my novation calculator and I see that I can offer the seller typically anywhere from 10 to even $30,000 more if I'm able to list this on the MLS as a novation. So let's say, for example, I'm gonna just keep it simple. Let's say I'm able now to do a novation and offer them $150,000. And what's awesome about having a novation calculator and doing these, it's going to typically take into consideration, all of the closing costs, agent fees, agent commissions, all of that good stuff, right? So I know that I can go back to the seller and I can say this, or this is actually how my pitch or conversation would flow with the seller. I would say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, so I have some good news. I know that our cash offer came in a little lower than what you were expecting, but the good news is your property actually qualifies for a program that we have to where now we can actually list this property on your behalf and put potentially $150,000 in your pocket. So you'll get a lot more. The only difference here, Mr. Seller, is we're going to need a little more access to the property. Okay. So, what this means is instead of us buying it at our $100,000 cash price, we're actually going to be sending this property out to some of our premium buyers like hedge funds or those investors or companies that can pay a lot more than we can. We'll even send this out to first time home buyers who can pay a little more than we can, right? And so the only thing here is that they're going to need to come and walk the property and view the property. All right. How does that sound? Bam. And that's my pitch to the seller. And I will even let them know, hey, now when I say a little more access, I don't want you to think that people are just going to be running in and out of your house. That is not the case. Okay. We'll put a lockbox on the door. We can even have set times, a set schedule. Let's say, for example, while you're at work, if you're working 9 to 5 and when you come home, you don't want people bothering you, we can schedule some time for them to come view the house during that time, right? And also, everybody that comes to view the house will be accompanied by a licensed agent. All right. So, this again isn't going to just be people coming and going randomly out of your place, right? And so, the good thing too, by doing this program, you're not going to be responsible for any agent fees or agent commissions. We take care of all of that for you, point blank and simple. Okay. And we can still even cover the closing costs. Is that something that'll work for you? And there it is. The seller is going to let you know right there, yes or no, if this is something that they're open to. And then, along with the novation agreement, or with the purchase agreement, there's actually two other forms that I get filled out. So there's a combination of three forms here. I'm getting my standard purchase agreement, my TREC contract. I'm also going to get what's called the novation agreement, the actual form that says the seller's giving me the ability to list this property on their behalf. And then thirdly, I'm getting an attorney of fact form filled out. So this way, this allows me to sign and negotiate on the seller's behalf. So all they have to do is show up at closing and sign at the closing table. That's all they have to do. Now, tips when it comes to doing these novations. In my personal experience, I know every investor may have their own way of doing it. Number one, I'm not doing it to where I'm going and investing money into these properties, right? So for me, these properties have to be livable. They have to be able to qualify for a traditional mortgage. I have tried to do some that were in pretty rough condition, and I wasn't able to close those. All of the ones I've been able to close have been in livable conditions, and they also been able to qualify for a traditional mortgage. So that's kind of what I gravitate to. So I'm not going in there putting in, $10,000, $20,000. Some investors do. That's just not the way that I prefer to do it. So it's completely up to you. You'll have to figure out which way that you prefer. That's the biggest thing. The second biggest thing is that obviously you're able to put more, not only in your seller's pocket, but even on these properties, these novation agreements, you're going to probably make about $5,000 to $10,000 more, sometimes way more than I would if I was just doing a traditional 70% wholesale. So novation is an extremely powerful tool to have in your tool bag and to know how to do it correctly. Here's the only disclaimer. If you have not done a deal yet, okay, I do not think you need to be going down this rabbit hole. You need to learn the basics first, period. Go out there, close you some deals, 70% of the ARV, a traditional wholesale. Let's learn that strategy first, because when you learn that strategy, then you can start to implement the novations and the sub twos and all of the creative stuff. And it's going to make you dangerous in this industry. It's going to make you very competitive. When I say dangerous, I mean that in a good way, right? It's going to make you very competitive, right? To where now you can outperform some of the other investors because you're able to offer so many other things. But what I'm finding out is too many new investors who haven't even done a deal yet or trying to do some of this creative stuff. And it can end up getting you into muddy waters. Or if you're doing this for the first time, just make sure you're in a community or you have coaching or mentorship that they can guide you through this process. But again, incredible resource, incredible opportunity, and incredible to be offering. So let me know in the comments below if you're thinking about offering a novation, but I'll see y'all on the next one.